Hello friends, my name's Emile and welcome back to a very special episode of the Forza Top Gear Laps. Today we are finally doing the showdown between the Porsche 918 Spider, McLaren P1 and the LaFerrari. Thanks to the new Porsche pack, we finally got the holy trinity of the hybrid supercars, and we start out with the Porsche 918 Spider. 887 horsepower, 3,692 pounds of weight. This is the least powerful car here today. It is also the heaviest vehicle here today. However, it does have an advantage in that it has four-wheel drive and the rest of these hypercars do not. So let's see how the 918 got on. Overall to drive, the 918 was a little bit not quite what I expected. It is a lot slidier than you'd expect. This doesn't actually have all that much grip. It almost feels like you're driving on ice a little bit, but it does have a bit more grip than that. That four-wheel drive system though basically means as soon as you get something wrong you can just boot it. Through hammerhead we see it gets a little bit of understeer. This vehicle didn't really have too much in the way of understeer, but it did seem to be a problem through hammerhead. Through the follow through though it was completely fine as far as understeer and stuff goes. Straight line speed is pretty decent in this vehicle, being the least powerful vehicle here today. It was probably the worst when it came to its straight line speed, but it did have very good acceleration thanks to its four-wheel drive system. So maybe that will be the thing that gets it to the top of the leaderboard. We'll have to see at the end of the episode. But anyway, 918 is around the last corner and across the line. Next up we got the McLaren P1, 903 horsepower, 3,296 pounds of weight. Now this car's advantage lies in its very clever aerodynamics. You'll see that wing move around a hell of a lot as we go around the track, and ultimately this was the best handling of all of the vehicles here today. It had the most grip. However, I did find myself making more mistakes and getting thrown into walls and stuff more with this vehicle. For whatever reason, just anything can upset this vehicle. It gets upset very easily, which is a little bit strange. So yeah, but ultimately it wasn't too bad. Straight line speed is phenomenal in both the P1 and indeed the next vehicle. It's insane. Not quite as good as the Koenigsegg 1.1 of course, but it's definitely up there with the fastest accelerating cars in the game. Through the follow through it did reasonably well. Now here comes the scary bit. Past the tyres, I lost grip quite a few times on there. These vehicles were very scary through there. I don't know if it's just me clipping a curb or putting too many wheels on the grass or something, but for whatever reason those vehicles would get thrown around out there. You usually had to lift off through the tyres, which is something we don't usually have to do. Finally today we've got the LaFerrari, 963 horsepower, 3,031 pounds of weight. This is the most powerful car. It's also the lightest car here today, and it is by far the quickest in a straight line. This thing is just ridiculous in a straight line. Honestly, it very much reminds me of a Koenigsegg 1.1 when it comes to its straight line speed. Through the corners though, it actually isn't that bad. If the P1 is the best handling vehicle here today, which I do believe it isn't by much, because the LaFerrari is pretty planted and decent through the corners. It drives basically how you like generic supercars do, just with a lot more straight line speed. Now one issue I was finding with these vehicles is the brakes aren't quite as good as you may expect from, say, you know, when I'm driving the Koenigsegg 1.1 I can be very late on the brakes. The brakes in that are fantastic. On these they're good, but they're not brilliant when it comes to their braking traits. You'll see through there I do get a little bit of a slide. It was very, very scary through there. I'm surprised I didn't end up rolling one of these vehicles, to be perfectly honest with you. Anyways, through the second to last corner, fairly flat for the LaFerrari, and around the last corner and across the line. So onto the times, and the LaFerrari is the quickest car here today with a 109.609 going into second place. It beats out the McLaren P1 by over a second, but the P1 has nothing to be ashamed of with a 110.696, the third fastest car around here. Yeah, that's a very, very good time for the P1. And the 918 Spider goes into fifth with a 110.810. Slower than the Veneno. The Veneno was a much better handling four-wheel drive supercar, even if it didn't quite have the power. But the 918 is still faster than an Atom V8 and a Zonda Cinque, Nissan R390, Lykan Hypersport. That vehicle is very quick. All the vehicles here are extremely quick. But when it comes down to it, which one would I actually want to drive for a longer period of time? I have to say it's the 918 Spider. It's the most fun vehicle here today. It might not be the best handling, but it's definitely good. Either way, all of these vehicles have their good advantages, but overall there is only one winner, and it is the Koenigsegg 1.1. Anyway, friends, I want to thank you all very much for watching this episode of the Forza Top Gear Laps. If you have any suggestions for future episodes you'd like to see, then please leave them down in the comment section below. Anyway, as always, I hope you have enjoyed this video. My name's been the Real Emile, and until next time, a farewell.